This is big breaking emergency news. We were just issued a major warning from the U.S. State Department. A top official at the U.S. State Department has warned the American public and the world that there is a major risk and potentially a risk related to a nuclear disaster. All right, we're going to get into details of that in just a second. And we are also seeing the U.S. military being deployed right now in Florida. They are doing a massive event where they are dropping from helicopters. They are shooting dummy rounds all throughout the city. There's helicopters all over the place. People are jumping out with parachutes, right? It's pretty wild there. All right, I'm going to show some scenes of that too. So let's dive into this really quick. Please hit that like, hit that subscribe. I'm posting multiple videos a day, keeping you guys updated on this big urgent news. All right, so check this out. This is what's happening inside of Florida right now, and then we will get to this warning that the U.S. State Department just issued as well, because they are getting ready for this. This is what they're doing. These things go hand in hand. But you can see here, this is the current situation inside of Tampa, Florida right now. Pretty wild scene of events that are happening. All right, so that's what's happening in Tampa right now. And this is the SOCOM, right? SOCOM conducts U.S. military demonstrations in Florida with helicopters, paratroopers, and counterattacks and more. All right, it says U.S. militaries, including Navy SEALs, Army personnel, and more gathered in Tampa, Florida for SOF week. All right, so there's actually soldiers from other countries here all doing this major exercise inside of Tampa, Florida right now. Right, so just so you know, just for awareness, all right, there's nothing to be worried about currently, but this drill is happening, and there's military personnel from over 10 nations that are here and running this massive drill inside of Tampa, right? And it's called the Special Operation Forces Drill. So let me know if you're in Tampa and if you've seen this happening there. All right, this is what's going on. And we also have the U.S. State Department. They are issuing a warning as well. These things go hand in hand. So they're doing these trainings domestically. They were training for an attack on the U.S., all right? And then we also have the State Department issuing this warning too, all right? Look at here. You can see here that the State Department is worried that we're going to have a potential nuclear disaster related to cyber attacks and AI. That's what the State Department just warned of, and he's saying that countries need to put restrictions on these things on AI, which is used, it can be used potentially to enhance cyber attacks and to automate them and to even create new languages and codes that we are not currently able to decipher, right? And that's what the State Department is warning of right now as well, right? So these things go hand in hand. while they're doing these drills, they're also warning that we could have a potential nuclear disaster if we don't get control of AI. That's what they're saying, and they're saying that it's going to take over the US military. And during this drill, this is what they said here about this. They said, quote, during a simulated attack and counterattack, the armed militia uses boats and vehicles to lash across the bridge connecting Harbor Island and Channelside and fired blank ammunition at soldiers in the water. Right? So they're simulating attacks and counterattacks inside the US, and inside Tampa, Florida, they're running this massive drill here, right? And this comes at the same time that they're warning that we could have AI starting to take over our weapon systems. It could attack the power grid, the water grid, anything that's connected to the internet could be subjected to this as well. All right, and you can see here it says in a May 2nd press briefing, U.S. State Department official Paul Dean said that the U.S. government has explicitly told France and the United Kingdom that the decision to deploy nuclear weapons must stay out of reach of autonomous artificial intelligence systems, and said it welcomes China and Russia to make the same pronouncement. It says global powers are racing to level up their military capabilities with cutting-edge artificial intelligence. The U.S. military recently tested an autonomously controlled X-62A jet, right? They did this just a few weeks ago, where it was in a dogfight with a real person, right? And they didn't tell us who won. They didn't tell us who won the dogfight between the AI and the soldier, right? And it says the U.S. military recently tested this autonomously controlled jet in a dogfight simulation, which it called a success. And it also says that AI has been used on both sides of the Russia-Ukraine war. Meanwhile, the U.S. is trying to cut off China from powerful computer chips needed to run AI systems using stringent export controls, while giving grants to chip makers willing to expand operations in America. All right, so there's an economic war already going on right now. That's why Taiwan is so critical. That's the elephant in the room with Taiwan, is that they have all of these chip factories and technology companies that the U.S. wants to keep close and doesn't want to lose to China, right? And also China has a lock on the rare earth minerals for magnets and for chips and semiconductors, all these things, batteries, all this stuff. China has a major advantage in all these rare earth mineral mining processes and has their tentacles in projects all throughout the world for this rare earth mining, right? So they are leaps ahead of the US, and these resources are critical, and China is cutting us off from these resources, and the US is trying to put pressure on companies in China to not let them develop chips there. If there's any American workers in any of these companies, they had to make a decision to keep working there in China or to leave if they worked in specific tech companies. This happened maybe 6 months ago from an executive order, right? And this is big because it's more than nuclear. They can take over power plants. The AI, once it's unleashed, right, it can just start producing its own coding languages, its own computer codes that nobody can even read or decipher, and put them on top of our existing software programs and lock us out, right? Essentially a ransomware attack mixed with AI that has created its own artificial language models and computing languages that we can't even comprehend, right? We're going to have to use another AI to break into it, right? That's the situation that we're getting here. And nuclear power plants could be hit. And that's essentially that's like a nuke going off, pretty much, right? If a cyber attack hits one of these power plants, that's almost the same thing about what they're talking about here too, right? So make sure you're getting prepared, and let me know if you have seen this military equipment flying around, because it's happening there, right? It's all over the place. It's loud. They're shooting off blank rounds, and it's kind of hard to miss, right? So let me know what you guys think about this. What do you think they're getting ready for, getting prepared for, and what are you doing to get ready as well, right? We have our homestead, we have satellite internet, and we have water tanks, we have our preps, our food preps, and we have protection, and we also have a generator. So I appreciate that. Thank you guys. I hope you have big blessings for your life, your family. Hope you have blessings on your homestead, your job, your career, your goals, whatever you're working on, your family, your kids, your grandkids, your pets, whatever you're working on, your chickens, all right? I hope you have blessings and success with all these things. So thank you guys, and I hope you have a big old blessed day.